Marvel. A globally known phenomenon, Marvel Comics is well known for its iconic characters on screen, in comics, as well as other media. Today on Gamecast, we're going to talk about the origins of the Titan comic distributors and why it's earned its place in comic folklore history, alongside its dominance in other entertainment medias. So without further ado, I'm Jay from Gamecast, and this is Marvel, a super origin story. Marvel Comics originally began as Timely Comics in 1939 before being rebranded as Atlas Comics after the end of the World War. Superheroes' popularity fell and the company drove towards stories based on horror, western, crime and war. It's actually rival company DC that is actually credited with the revival of superheroes during this time in popular culture. The first recognizable Marvel comic came in June 1961 when Marvel began using an MC logo on their series Journey into Mystery and Patsy Walker. In the same year, we saw a true icon in the comic industry begin to shine. Enter Stan Lee. Stan Lee was widely credited with revolution in the industry by introducing some truly iconic characters such as Thor, the Hulk, Iron Man, and even the X-Men. Alongside Jack Kirby, a freelance artist, the duo dominated the comic scene for years to come. In the year 1968, while selling a whopping 50 million comics a year, company founder Martin Goodman sold Marvel Comics and its parent company, Magazine Management, to Perfect Film and Chemical Corporation. Perfect Film and Chemical Corporation then in 73 rebranded as Cadence Industries and Magazine Management as the more recognizable Marvel Comics group. Unfortunately, Marvel would enter into yet another dark period in the company's history as popularity began to fluctuate yet again. A change in direct marketing saw the company begin to rise again towards the end of the decade. But troubling times once again struck Marvel Entertainment in '96 when the company officially declared for bankruptcy. It was only a year later, however, when the entertainment organization ended its bankruptcy when it was bought by the American toy company Toy Biz to form a new corporation, Marvel Enterprises. From the early 2000s, Marvel began to stabilize its comic line, even launching Marvel Knights to showcase their more gritty characters such as Daredevil, the Inhumans, and the Black Panther. They also began to reboot their major characters to introduce to a new generation. A few years later, in 2009, Marvel was acquired in a monstrous $4 billion deal to the Walt Disney Company. Since then, we've seen Marvel truly become a dominant player in the entertainment industry, even becoming a global success in the film and TV industry, and even venturing into the gaming industry. Marvel first made its mark on the film industry with Blade in '98, X-Men in 2000, and Spider-Man in 2002. But fans of Marvel had no idea just how popular Marvel would become amongst the general public. In 2008, we saw the birth of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Iron Man, starring Robert Downey Jr., debuted as the first major entry into the MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has since gone on to spawn over 23 films and a number of television series, such as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Punisher, and Daredevil. The films alone in the MCU have generated an earth-shattering $21,163,658,201. The MCU has received widespread critical acclaim from both critics and fans. At their time of recording, its latest release, Avengers Endgame, is currently battling for the #1 top-grossing film of all time alongside James Cameron's Avatar. Moving away from the MCU, Marvel has dipped its feet into the gaming industry in the past. First, with Spider-Man for the Atari 2600. It was the first instance of seeing the infamous web-slinger in a video game, and indeed Marvel's first comic-based video game. But on a serious note, just look at those graphics. Marvel games have also been known for some hit games, such as Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is widely praised by Marvel fans as one of the best comic book based video games of all time, with praise directed towards its huge map, web swinging mechanics, and large variety of crimes and emergencies to tackle in-game. Then in October of 2006, we got to play the fun team-up game Ultimate Alliance, where players can choose from a sizable roster to take on the Masters of Evil and Doctor Doom. The game went on to win Best Story on PlayStation 3 in 2006 from IGN and Wizard Magazine's Video Game of the Year. With a high standard to try match, Insomnia were given a monstrous task of developing a new Spider-Man title, After a 4-year development period, the PS4 exclusive was released to universal acclaim. Praise was directed at the new web swinging mechanics, as no Spider-Man game managed to capture the same realistic feeling of Spider-Man 2 back in 2002. The game went on to be a huge success, featuring on many Game of the Year lists and also winning numerous awards. The game has also gone on to be one of the top-selling PS4 exclusives of all time. So upon concluding a brief look upon the long history of Marvel, we must ask ourselves why we enjoy the company's work so much. I know personally that Marvel has provided me with hours of entertainment through new movie releases, comics, or video games. But more importantly, through all these mediums, Marvel always seems to always have huge effort into all their projects. Whether it be a long, intricate story spanning over 20 movies, extremely detailed video games, or beautifully drawn comics, they seem to always show that the person or people behind the work truly enjoy what they do. And it seems Marvel are far from done. With a slate of planned upcoming unnamed Marvel titles coming in the next few years and an announced Avengers game from developer Square Enix, Marvel seem like they will keep a firm hold on their place as one of the world's leading entertainment providers. So thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments why you were a fan of Marvel.